Detective Conan is a very popular anime outside the English-speaking world. It did, however, receive a rather bad English dub when Funimation licensed it back in 2003. A lot of things were changed. The names were made rather cliché English names that really didn't fit the characters. The setting was also changed to the US and Canada instead of Japan, despite nearly every episode screaming that it's taking place in Japan. And another thing was changed: the name. Yes, instead of Detective Conan, it was renamed Case Closed. A name that raises the eyebrows of most people outside the US. And then there is the reason why it was changed. Legal reasons, copyright, and potential lawsuits. And you may ask yourself, what? What kind of copyright can be in the words Detective Conan? There are a lot of fictional detectives, and the word detective has appeared in a lot of titles and either TV shows or films, so that's not it. It's a rather generic word that doesn't have any copyright to it. So we have then the name Conan. And you might ask yourself now, wait a second, how could a name be copyright infringement? After all, Conan is an actual name in the real world, and Detective Conan, it's an homage to Sir Arthur Conan Doyle. That's made clear even in the second episode of the series. Well, for that to make any kind of sense, we need to remember something that happened in the early 2000s in the US. Back then, there was a rather questionable lawsuit involving Spike TV and Spike Lee. You see, Spike Lee has such an enormous ego that he wanted to have copyright on his name, and he even sued Spike TV over it. It was a crazy lawsuit, and most people rightfully consider it to be ridiculous. But of course, it was no laughing matter for the people who potentially could be sued because of such lawsuits. And in case Spike Lee would have succeeded, and if other egomaniacs would have done the same, then that wouldn't be a good thing. And thankfully, that didn't happen. But in the US, Detective Conan was back then a risky choice, and a more generic name was needed, hence Case Closed. So who do you think might have sued in case the original name stayed and somebody had a problem with it? Well, the makers of Conan the Barbarian might have, but I kind of doubt it. And the other potential problem would have been Conan O'Brien. I doubt that he would have done it. He's not full of himself, and years later he even had a segment about the little animated Japanese detective who shares his name. And he even visited Japan as a result of it. So he's fine with it. So the name change was very much redundant, and it likely wouldn't have changed much. I still think the original attempt would have failed, since Funimation's localization attempt was atrocious. And made as much sense as having Captain America and the Avengers take place in rural Poland.
How sad. All broken and bloody. To lose something so precious. I really liked his watch.
That's Timberland Zoo over there, and this is Taggart Tower. Alright, so is Alberta awesome or what?
To me, it comes as no surprise that when the films began to get dubbed again into English, they decided to stay true to the original, so they kept the Japanese names, and the setting was also in Japan, and the dub was very faithful to the original. The only real exception was that they kept the name Case Closed. And with the recent dub from last year, when the series began to get dubbed again, they even decided to include Detective Conan right there in the title, next to Case Closed. In fact, the dub itself doesn't even refer to itself as Case Closed, since Conan says Detective Conan right there in the intro. In my opinion, they should just toss away the Case Closed part, since it doesn't serve any purpose. So yes, in my opinion, they should just toss it away and just move onward with the rebranding that they already started, since, let's be honest, not even the fans of the series are referring to it as Case Closed. Everybody calls it Detective Conan, and there's a good reason for it. So yes, this is the ridiculous reason why Detective Conan was renamed Case Closed, and why it really shouldn't have. If you like this video, click the like button, subscribe, share it, everything that will help the growth of this channel, and I would very much appreciate it. Thank you for watching.